Does one hip feel different from the other? Like you can't quite get it to the floor or it's starting to pinch? What we clinically see is people lacking internal rotation. So we need to go after a joint with a joint solution. And using the bands around the hip joints, getting it to glide is a great solution for that. So you're gonna set up the band, you're gonna be in this open half kneeling position. You're gonna take, the tight hip is gonna be down. It's gonna be as close to the joint as possible because the closer it is, the more specific it gets. I'm gonna put a good amount of tension on that band because it's one of the biggest joints in our body and it's the most stable. I'm gonna get nice and tall, I'm gonna lock my glute, and I'm going to lunge. So the band is creating this glide to open up the inside joint capsule. So when I'm doing that internal rotation, that's the direction in which it needs to slide. I can also add on some internal rotation actively to teach the muscles how to hold that joint in place in that new joint position. So we can lock in here, hit that end range, a couple of little rotations, or if that's too much, just doing some rotation here, lock that, you can glide like this. Once we create some new space and some new input around that hip joint, we're gonna actively open that up. So you're gonna take your shin box position again, but you're gonna lean back, and we're gonna say that my left hip is the kind of the tighter hip. When I lift my leg up towards the ceiling, I'm actively pushing my foot and ankle into the floor. So I'm kind of scooping the ground with the foot, which will in turn, because I'm activating the foot and the ankle, it's going to reflexively turn on a lot of the glute muscles. I'm just gonna lift up to the point where it can't go anymore and then slowly lower back down. So it's not just a passive lift up here, I am pushing the floor away, I am cranking into that hip joint and I'm really firing up those deep hip muscles. Come up, hold, slowly back down. By doing it this way, we're providing some strength and control into that new range. Okay? Just because we create some range, we need to add strength or it won't stick around. So we're gonna do about 3 to 5 repetitions until we got some new range. And then once we feel comfortable with that, now we can come up into our alternate hip rotation exercise. So when we're doing this, you're gonna plant the feet, get nice and deep into that hip, lock them down, and when you get up, make sure you point the toes so you don't crank into your knees. So it's really important that you point the toes. If I keep the feet like this, that anchors that foot and it really twists into the knee. So we don't want to do that. We want to point the toes, protect the knee, roll up, and when you're in this top position, lock that hip out. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and now we're involving both hips symmetrically once we've created balance in the left joint. If your hips feel freed up after this exercise, click the like button. If you want to share this information with somebody, share it to them. And you can head over to tomswells.com and learn more tips and tactics on how to free up your body.